ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm John Knowles with your ZNS Total Sports. Well, it was game time at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium last night, the site of the CONCACAF League of Nations matchup between the Bahamas and the British Virgin Islands, as the teams faced off on the pitch for the second time in a matter of weeks, with the 2-4-2 taking the first matchup 4-0 and would look to do the same on Thursday night. Team Bahamas would strike first blood thanks to Marcel Joseph, who would find the back of the net in the 9th minute. Two more late first-half goals by midfielders Leslie St. Fleur and Quentin Carey would give the 2-4-2 the 3-0 win and momentum heading into their matchup with Bonaire, coach Neslie St. Jean, and midfielder Happy Hall.
Well, this was a huge victory for us. Of course, this was a must-win game to put us over into the top group as we go away in a few days, actually tomorrow, to face Bonaire. But again, these guys, I'm extremely proud of these guys. They put in a lot of work, especially guys who are here, and then the guys who we brought back from away, knowing that they only had a few days rest to try get fit into what we are trying to do here.
And I think it shows the development that the clubs in the BFA are putting into the game. I also think it gives a shimmer of hope, understanding that, the Bahamas is just not a tourist destination. We are and will be a very strong footballing nation. We had a lot of young players on the squad today, and we're starting to put nice pieces to the puzzle. And I think in the last, I've been playing now with the national team for 15 years, and this is the best squad that I've played with. I have to use my brain a little bit more than my legs these days, but it's still enjoyable.
For Marcel Joseph, scoring his first goal in international competition is something he certainly won't forget.
My first goal, my first international goal, was really something really special. I dreamt about this day, and when it happened, I couldn't believe it, man. It was just so crazy. So much emotion, seeing the crowd celebrate, it was quite a joy. Yeah, it was quite a joy. It was quite a joy to score my first goal, and I hope it's not the last. I think I'm going to score a lot more for the team and help the team go further.
As for the BVI's coach, despite the loss, he says his team's future looks bright.
I've been in football 25 years in UEFA and CONCACAF, and I don't think I've ever known a team that young. We're disappointed, obviously, with the goals first half. I thought they were too easy. We sat too far off them, but we addressed some things at half-time, and I thought they showed a lot of character to come out second half. 3 could easily become 5, and it didn't. And I actually thought we had the better chances. Really positive. If you look at that team there in 2024, when we look to qualify for the 2026 World Cup, which is our overall goal, 9 of those players will be in the squad, and they could have 60, 70 caps each.
Well, it was certainly a drama-filled affair yesterday over in the East at Queen's College in Game 2 of the BAISS Senior Boys Softball Championship Series between the SAC Big Red Machine and the Queen's College Comets. This one would be a back-and-forth affair as QC would pop out to an early 3-run lead, but SAC would come back to knot things up. But in the bottom of the 5th, this is where things would take a controversial turn. QC third baseman Nicholas Zervos would take SAC deep with a bases-clearing triple that would cause the QC fans to storm the field prematurely, not realizing that there were 2 innings left to play. Now, by the time officials had cleared the field, sunlight had left the park, and by BAISS rules, the team that is up after 5, by the time dark has fallen, would be awarded the game, thus giving QC the 13-12 win and the title.
Played hard. We played with a lot of heart, a lot of effort. Our field was great. Our pitching was on point today. Everyone did their job, and it's just great. Personally, I be in Queen's College from grade 7, and I been on the team every year. And every year we fell short. We came second every year. And to win this in my last year, it feels great. I feel honored to be a part of this great school establishment. It's just a wonderful thing.
I'm too excited right now. I can't believe it. It's our first, favorite number 1. It's our first championship in 100 years. I had to come here and do it. I had to carry my team to championship. But it was a team effort. It was a team effort.
The ZNS Total Sports team attempted to get a clear understanding of the officials' ruling from the umpires of the game, but they elected not to comment. On the losing side, the SAC Big Red Machine's head coach said he accepted the loss, but the circumstances of the defeat highlight a much larger issue.
The last 2 minutes, I think in the last inning, we made some crucial errors during the game, but that's part of the game, okay? My only thing is that I don't think any team can beat SAC in 7 innings. This is 2019, And in 2019, we cannot find a park with light that these senior boys can play to demonstrate their skills. You know, something has to be done, the powers to be, to change that. At all senior games, especially senior boys, a place has to be found. Hats off to QC. I know probably for the past 10 years they've been knocking at the door to win, and they finally did it.
In college basketball news, Bahamian LaShawn Higgs on the court last night for the Texas Lady Longhorns as they took on the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. The guard would finish the game with 11 points and 5 rebounds in the 84-53 win to help the number 22 team in the country get their first win on the year.
When we got into the locker room, we discussed amongst each other that we needed to buckle down and take our time on offense, but most importantly, we talked about how we needed to focus more on defense, because if we continue to play defense, then eventually we'll get into the rhythm of the offense.
With the Bahamas Cup recently wrapping up and the Islands of the Bahamas Showcase Basketball Tournament and the Great Apico Classic on the horizon, the Bahamas Resort is certainly doing their part to help the country's booming sports tourism product.
We believe that sports tourism is an important and vital component of the success of any tourism product, and particularly here at Bahamas. We have such unique and variety of venues that can lend itself quite well to the sports tourism product. Certainly with this golf course, certainly with our ballroom space, being able to, which we did last year, purchase a brand new basketball court, and certainly our beautiful tennis facilities are world class with 3 surfaces of grass, clay, and hard courts. All of these venues, and certainly creating the economic boost that we all need this time of year. It's the perfect match.
And for the minister responsible for tourism, he says his message that the Bahamas is open for business after the aftermath of Dorian is not falling on deaf ears.
I think we're having tremendous success in getting the message out there that the Bahamas is open for business. You know, when you look at the stats, you compare this destination to other Caribbean destinations that were impacted by hurricanes. So, for example, you look at Puerto Rico or you look at St. Martin, that were significantly impacted by Hurricanes Irma and Maria. 15, 20 months out, they had only reached 70% of pre-hurricane arrival numbers. We are 1 month out, 2 months out, we're already back to 80% of pre-hurricane arrivals. So as we get the message out that much of the Bahamas was unimpacted by the storm, I think certainly as people bring focus to making their Thanksgiving and Christmas vacations, and they start to go online and do their research and see much of the country that has been unimpacted, I am very, very confident that our arrival numbers will begin to rebound.
In sailing news, the hurricane also throwing a wrench in the plans of organizers for the Best of the Best regatta, with the budget for the event having to be reduced because of the monster storm. But luckily for sailors, the minister responsible for agriculture and marine resources says the prize money will remain the same.
Boats will represent islands and communities throughout the archipelago. As you know, the nightmare known as Hurricane Dorian has caused a change of plans on many levels in our country. The Best of the Best was no exception, with our budget being trimmed somewhat as a part of the government's refocusing of resources to help with the recovery. Despite this fact, our team did an incredible job of ensuring that the funds being dedicated to our sailors and their prize money remained untouched.
Race coordinator Stafford Brister is saying that there will also be a lot of onshore activities at this year's regatta.
The public can still expect 4 days of excitement. The Regatta Village will open on Thursday, December 5th at 10 a.m. and it will close at 12 midnight on Monday, December 9th. In addition to sailing, which is the major component of this regatta, we have a lineup of onshore activities that will take place on a daily basis. In a few days, we'll be able to give a lineup of the entertainers who will perform during our nightly concert on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have earmarked Saturday, December 7th, as Family Day. So we're encouraging everybody to come out. We will have activities earmarked for persons as young as 1 year old to 100 years old.
And that's been a look at sports. A quick check on weather is up next.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.